Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Casper, and I am going to be starting a 3D printing business. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. I've been working on it in the background for the last 3 months or so. Started off with an idea, and then it's slowly becoming a reality. And I guess this is kind of my first video that I'm making. I don't really have a specific format as to how I'm going to do it or anything like that. It's just kind of go with the flow, and you'll get to see a bit of behind the scenes of what I'm doing, where I got my inspiration from, all this kind of stuff. So I guess the kind of background that I'll give you is I've had 3D printers for quite some time. Going back 3 or 4 years ago, I've had the initial kind of Ender 3 clones that everybody would have, right? Those were kind of the thing that I was going to work with, right? So I went out and bought 3 BQB ones because they were kind of better and newer kind of kid on the block, right? Still the bed slingers and all that, right? So typical, Ender 3. I had everything ready, I had everything prepped. I started making test prints and all this kind of stuff was going well. And then I was called into action by my job to go and travel for the last 3 years or so. Which kind of put a damp or a break, so to speak, on the business idea. But luckily for me, now that's kind of over, and I'm able to sit at home, or not sit at home, work from home, or more based out of Frankfurt where I live in, compared to traveling all the time, right? So I'm really looking forward to be starting this business in January, right? So everything has been kind of leading up to this. So yeah. So as you can imagine, I don't have the big QB ones or the Ender 3 clones anymore. What happened is I moved from Ireland to Germany about 2 years ago, and I finally got to unpacking the BQs earlier on this year, and I realized that as some of you know, with the Ender 3s, it's a lot of work to get them up and running. And I just kind of gave up on that. I was like, you know what, listen, me trying to fix the BQB ones is going to take me a lot of time. I need to play around with the firmware, the software, all this kind of stuff. And that's just not something I was going to do. I was like, you know what, screw it. Right, let me look at alternative options. And I guess Prussias were kind of the gold standard, right? Like that's what I wanted. I wanted Prussias. Prusia Mark IV, they're known for the reliability, the work machines being able to be used in print farms for thousands of hours on end. But looking at the prices, that kind of, I was like, well, listen, it's expensive, right? It's the Prusias are 1,000, 1,200, whatever, whichever one you want to get. And that's kind of high, right? And that's not something I was going to kind of willing to spend, especially when you think about the bamboos, right? So I was very much kind of against bamboos for whatever reason. I don't know, I guess I kind of, swallowed the Kool-Aid, so to speak, right? Drank the Kool-Aid of Prusia being the best, and that's it. But I kind of came around to that. I was willing to give them a shot, and my first printer from bamboo was the P1S that you see behind me. And from the get-go, I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, listen, seeing the little benchy printed out with the speeds that the P1S is able to get has been mind-blowing, to be honest. And yeah, I was like, you know what, listen, this is going to be my ecosystem, right? I'm falling on bamboos full in. I've only got 2 printers from bamboos, and that's the only printers I have. But I'm kind of liking the performance, especially the price to performance ratio, right? For the P1P, I'm able to get 2 P1Ps for the price of 1 Mark 4S, right? So that's kind of a great deal as well. And looking at other YouTubers that have print farms and all this kind of stuff, the bamboos seem to be more reliable than the Prusias, right? So that's something that I kind of looked into as well. And I was like, listen, if I'm going to scale up and have a print farm later on going down the line, yeah, the reliability is going to be huge. And yeah, so far the bamboos are great. I've had no complaints about them at all. I've done some little kind of upgrades and whatnot to them, but apart from that, they've been performing well for my initial test runs, what I'm doing, and you can probably see them in the back. So yeah, honestly, it's good. It's grand, and I guess what I'm planning to do, or what my business is going to be centered around, is, as you probably figured out by the name of the YouTube channel and whatnot, is Refined Living, right? So that's something that I kind of came up with, just brainstorming, just in my spare time. Obviously I leverage some ChatGPT to kind of brainstorm ideas of what kind of names I would want to use for the business, and something that's unique as well. And I kind of landed on Refined Living. This is something that kind of sounds premium or sounds elegant or whatnot, and it's kind of, I hope, will appeal to the target demographic that I'm aiming for, right? I'm aiming for kind of like upper middle class, so to speak, with the products that I'm selling, but I want it to be also accessible to everyone, right? So it's not like I'm only targeting the that specific niche, but what I found out from research, and a lot of research, is find your niche and just kind of stick to it, right? And that's kind of what I'm going to do, is just find my niche and see how it goes, right? So this is kind of, where I find out in the next few months whether or not I was right or not. But it's fine. I will, live and learn, as they say, right? So yeah, the products that I have are actually here in the background. You can see some of them, right? I've got a few more downstairs because I'm actually taking some photos for Etsy for that. But basically what I'm doing is I'm making some vases, right? Some cool looking design vases that you can put your fake flowers in, and just have them sitting on your table, or over the chimney or something like that, right? I want them to be kind of like nice conversational pieces, and that's something I'm kind of leaning more towards. Is I don't want just a boring kind of a vase, right? Because let's be honest, if it's just something that you can get everywhere else, it's boring. It's no one's going to come in and say, "Oh, I love this vase. All right, this is great. Like, where did you get this?" Right? I'm kind of leaning more towards getting a conversational piece. So something that will actually grab the person's attention and be like, "Oh wow, I love this vase. Like, where did you get it?" Right? So that's kind of how I want to drive my my product making decisions, right? So that's kind of why I'm selecting funkier designs rather than just off the shelf kind of stuff. So just to kind of give you an overview of why these vases, right? And what kind of products I chose. So I guess I did a lot of research going into this, looking at potential kind of models that I would use. Now, I'm bad at modeling myself. I haven't done this since secondary school. So modeling kind of vases and all this kind of stuff is way above kind of my pay grade at this stage. I'm more of a hands-on guy. So sitting there in front of a computer with with CAD open up and working on this stuff ain't my thing. So yeah, I guess I decided to license the products, right? With the growing availability of models online, right? Whether it be Tangs or Maker World, printables, Coldstream, whatever it is, people will want to start their models, right? They're good at modeling, but might not necessarily have the skills to print off the products and sell them. So I guess that's kind of why I decided to be licensing the models, right? I found one creator that I kind of had a look through and was like, okay, these kind of models that they have are going to be kind of my Kickstarter, right? They're going to hopefully start off my portfolio, and will allow me to kind of pick and choose which exactly models I want and which ones I actually think will be a conversational piece, right? So that's why I kind of chose them. Like these are nice pieces. They're nice. They're nice, cute. I feel like they'll sell well, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of why I decided on selling these specific models, right? Compared to others. Now, hopefully later on down the line, what I'll be able to do is diversify my portfolio and actually be like, okay, you know what? like these are good, but also this creator has a really nice portfolio that I want to pick and choose their models from, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. And obviously it's not free. Obviously I pay for the models because I want to be on the good side of the law and whatnot, right? And I want the creators to be paid for their work. And I just don't want to like just steal their products or anything like that, right? Because that's just not fair. And yeah, it's just rude. I know some people do it, will just blatantly copy people's people's products, just print them out, sell them, even though it says no commercial use, or if you want the commercial use, please subscribe to our Patreon and whatnot. So that's kind of why I why I'm paying for it. It's not cheap, but listen, I hope that whatever I make with the models is actually going to offset the subscription costs. So fingers crossed, we'll be doing well. Another thing, what I want to talk about is actually the filaments, right? So I decided to kind of put my my money where my mouth is and buy premium filament, right? With a premium brand, I want to be offering premium materials. So what I'm using Polyterra, so Polymakers Polyterra range. I found their colors to be quite nice. I mean, looking at their, like for example, the mint green or the banana yellow, I feel like they're really nice pastel kind of colors and will kind of go well with a lot of people's living rooms or spaces overall. Right now, obviously, I have the banana, the mint, but I have a lot of other colors as well. I've also ordered a lot of like once-off kind of filaments that I don't want to print my my prints in, because if I print how I print in, let's say, icy blue, and that doesn't sell, that's just kind of a waste of filament in my eyes. So what I will do, or what my plan is, to display the colors on my Etsy page and whatnot, to give the customers kind of a a look and see of what color looks like. I decided to print out benches, right? It's it's silly, but that's kind of what I kind of settled on. I've done a few different kind of trials. I've tried a few of these bamboo like filament samples that you see on their website, and it's like they look cool and whatnot, right? But I don't know, like I could make them bigger, right? Because I think they're a bit too small to take photos of, in the photo box especially, right? But I just don't think they offer exactly what I want, right? They're just kind of meh, right? So instead, I decided to just print off benches, right? Typical benches, right? They're cool, they're nice. Honestly, I don't think anyone will be like, oh no, I don't want to order from him because he's got a benchy as his filament sample, right? So that's kind of why I just settle on benches, and it's also kind of easy for me to kind of just settle on a benchy, because if I load up my filament into P1P, I don't need to go and slice the file or anything like that. I just load up the slice file that's on the device itself, and boom, that's it. It just goes, and 20 minutes later, I've got a benchy, right? I've also tried to kind of make those filament swatches that you see, the kind of bigger versions of Bamboo's regular filament swatches, because I was like, okay, cool, listen, I can have this as well, and it'll be nice, right? People can actually see it. It's a bit bigger, so it's easier to take photos of. But yeah, I decided not to go with that because it's just a pain. So I've got a few of these printed off, and basically what I use them for is I just put them in my my filament boxes just to show which one is actually opened, and that's it, right? So it's just kind of an indicator of, okay, this box is open, so take the filament from this box, and that's it. But yeah, so that's kind of my filaments, and yeah. Okay, so let me give you a quick rundown of what my printing area actually looks like. So first and foremost, as you can see, I've got my P1P here. I actually got one of this Sunlose S2 filament dryer, because I was actually going to print using PETG just in some parts. So I was like, okay, cool, I want to get a filament dryer just to make sure that my filaments are dry and then there is no issues. And underneath that, I've got a lot of filament, as you can see. So that's the front. The back also has more filament. So I'm quite stocked up on filaments. Now, as you can see, I've got a bunch of colors that are just in boxes, just the same, right? So I've got a lot of cotton white, for example. Oh, I need to place this down and swap this up because they're in the wrong place. But yeah, I've got a lot of colors that I think will sell the most, stocked up just in case. It was Black Friday sale on Trader Joe's and the prices were really good. So I just stocked up. Got like 30 kilograms of filament for myself, and that's it. On the other side, I've got my P1P with AMS in there as well. Quite fun the AMS is, but since I'm only printing in one color, it's not really needed, right? Because I can just load up the spool on the side, and that's it. But yeah, it's just good to have in case I just want to load up the filaments, or if I'm running low on one filament and I'm putting in the other spool to auto refill. It's really useful because I don't waste any filament. So it's kind of like this one, the Drew Carica, is becoming one of my kind of like use up the spool and keep going kind of printer, right? And as you can see, I've done an LED upgrade up on top here. It's mainly just so that when recording time lapses of the products, the lighting is much better compared to the stock LED, if you can see there. It's quite bad, so I found the upgrade quite worthwhile. It's quick, easy, and honestly, I think it was like 10-20 euros I paid for the LED strips, and that's it. The only downside is that you cannot turn off the LED strip at all unless you turn off the printer. So if it's just sitting here, then it's just going to yeah, it's just going to light up the room. And then I got the bamboo cool plates just to try them out. I've got the glacier here. I've got 2 of the glaciers, and I found issues with them using lower temps, like the minimum temps that they suggest, because the items kind of became unstuck. So they're not running that much colder than what I wanted them to. They're just kind of at like 5 or 10 degrees under the regular cool plate, which is something, but not exactly what I was expecting. I've got the other frostbite one coming as well, which is supposedly the one for PLA and PETG. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Ignore the spool on the left. It kind of came loose, and yeah, I tried to respool it. It's not worth it. So I'm just going to basically load it manually, and keep refilling it when it runs out. And then to the right, I've got my my kind of print storage. I've got another box up below here, which has a lot of my prints as well. It's just downstairs because I'm just, as I said, just taking photos for Etsy. And below there, it's just a few more filaments and just like printer spare parts, and that's it. And then to the right, all I've got is I got one of those photo boxes, right? Just to take photos of. I found that it's quite alright. Like it makes the photos much better, more professional. So it was, I think, 78 euros, so quite expensive. But I hope that thanks to that, the photos are going to come out much better. But yeah, so this is my my printer setup, and there we go. Okay, so I guess this is the end of my my first video, right? I don't know how often I'll be uploading them. Ideally, I would want to upload quite often, right? And just to kind of give you a rundown of what I'm doing, kind of the issues I'm facing, how it's all going, all this kind of stuff. So I guess stay tuned, and hopefully, you know, going more into the new years, I'm gonna have many more videos coming out. So yeah, thank you guys. Stay tuned and take it easy.